Hey kids, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 7, Accessor Methods, exercise number 5. Let's finish off the work we did in exercise number 4. In my console, we're going to instantiate an object of your dessert subclass. We're going to call the accessor methods for your dessert and print the values stored in the instance variables. And our output should look something like this. I made a cookie subclass, so mine should fit something like they put right there. How do we do this? Well, let's create our object first. And what class are we going to do? Well, the cookie subclass. And let's name it my cookie. And we want a new cookie. And we are going to use the parameterized constructor that we just created. So that needs 4. The first one's going to be the flavor. They have Snickerdoodle down there. We'll just use theirs, Snickerdoodle. And then we need to give it a price. Well, they gave it $2.25. Then we need to give it our parameters. And ours was a diameter, and I want a big cookie, so I'm going to go 8 inches. And then, is it chewy or not? And I want it to be false. Don't forget your semicolon. So that created the object of my cookie method. Now we have to call those accessor methods to print off this and explaining the object we just created. How are we going to do that? Let's give ourselves some room here. And we want to print, so we're going to use system.out.println. And then we're just going to print off whatever variable we want to display. First one is going to be a flavor, so it's going to say cookie, let's spell that right, flavor is, and then we are going to concatenate. Now this goes back to exercise number 3. How do we use those accessor methods to print off? Remember, first, what object did we create? Well, we created the myCookie object, right? And what method are we trying to call? Well, we're trying to get the flavor, and our access is through our getFlavor method. So we're going to call the getFlavor method like that. Before I write out all of these, let's hit run and see if we get Snickerdoodle to print off down in our console. And it looks like our code from the last exercise works. Let's go ahead and finish it off. System.out.println. And this time we are going to go for price. So cookie price is, and then we're going to concatenate. And again, the object we created to store these variables is myCookie, and the method this variable is currently stored in is the getPrice method. Then we're going to do this again. And this time we are doing the diameter. So cookie diameter is, again, the object we created it and stored it in was the myCookie, and the method it's stored in currently is the myDiameter. And don't forget your semicolon. One more here. And this one is chewy, and we're going to put is the cookie chewy. We should capitalize that like that. And we're going to concatenate. Put a space in there too. The object that this information is stored in, well, that object is the myCookie object. And the method it's stored in is the getIsChewy method that we wrote. One last semicolon. Clean up the code a little. Now when I hit run, I should get the flavor and price, the coconut $1.75 from before. Let's actually put in a system.out.println. Let's give ourselves a couple dashes so we can tell the difference between the two. Now I should get my new stuff because I created a new snickerdoodle object, and it is a snickerdoodle, and I have 2025 in here for the price. That should be $2.25. That would have gave me an error. Then the diameter is 8, and I don't like chewy cookies, so I want it to be false. That should all print down there. Let's see if we're right, kids. This has been given this error. If we just come down and give nothing, let's hit run again. We have a spelling error down here. That should be system.outprint. Let's give it third time's a charm, kids. There we go. We got our snickerdoodle to print off, our price, our diameter, and if it's chewy. Pretty awesome if you ask me, and really shows off all the neat things we've learned how to do in Java thus far. Key takeaways from this lesson, kids, is understanding how we access those accessor methods we created in the last exercise. Remember, we do the object that we want to call the method of. In this case, I created a object, my cookie, of the subclass cookie, and it stored variables snickerdoodle, 225, 8, and false. And then I stored that information through my accessor methods under the get flavor, get price, get diameter, get is chewy method. And by calling the object in that method, I could print off those variables. And that goes back to that reference by value that we talked about in exercise 1. And once we understand ultimately where that information is being stored, it's easy to call and use. Kids, hopefully this lesson helped you understand a little better what accessor methods are. As always, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next lesson. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.